Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, yesterday, I actually did a lot of, on the segment, I did a lot on the segment called Would the Real Donald Trump Stand Up? And the reason I did that yesterday is because there were so many things that he said that we did have to pause and think about what direction he's going. So, we did have to pause to see what direction he was going on some things. But one of the biggest things is, you know, I was reminded yesterday by one of our viewers that I say all the time, because I get this from Frank. I always have to give Frank his props for this. They're playing checkers and President Trump is playing chess. Now, there's something here. Do not fall for any Democrat telling you they're interested in border security. The president is very interested in, you got to realize, this opiate addiction problem. This fentanyl, which I guess I understand that is the synthetic heroin, the cheap heroin. I don't know how it all works. This was all laid on the President of the United States' desk, okay? This crisis in West Virginia, Ohio, Georgia, nationally, Maryland, okay? This crisis was laid on the President's desk. Don't ever let these phony Democrat Chuck Schumer went to the podium over the Dreamers and pretended to cry. And you remember Donald Trump called him out and said, you know what, that was a pretty good acting job, okay? The tears of a clown. Pretended to cry. Folks, they are not crying over the voters that are here now that are opiate addicted and fentanyl addicted and heroin. They're not crying over them. All right? Let's go to the, and I told you opening, and I want to talk about this for a reason. Let's go to President Trump. Interdict Act, signs it. President Trump signs the Interdict Act. Let's go to that video and let's play that.
Okay, thank you, Matt. So we're going to sign this, and it's a step, and it feels like a very giant step, but unfortunately it's not going to be a giant step, because no matter what you do, this is something that keeps pouring in, and we're going to find the answer. There is an answer. I think I actually know the answer, but I'm not sure the country's ready for it yet. Does anybody know what I mean? I think so. Yes, okay, folks. Who's getting this pen? Who's getting this pen? Can I ask for a vote? We're going to get all of you a pen. I'm going to give it to a Democrat, okay? It shows you bipartisan. That's bipartisan when I give it to a Democrat. And the Republicans told me to give it to a Democrat.
Okay, now if you go around that room, that is not played. That's not being played on any of the national media channels. That's not being played because for those of you that love bipartisan, for those of you that say that the president's not trying to work with both sides of the aisle to get things done, there's something that you need to pick up and take away from that, okay? He said this will not fix it. It won't fix it, okay? And he knows what it's going to take to fix it, okay? But he doesn't think the American people are ready for that. I'm telling you, this is bad. This fentanyl, he said you need to take away that he's going to fix it. And he knows what he has to do to fix it. He just doesn't think the American people are ready for that yet. So for this guy that they call crazy, that's not connected, doesn't understand, he knows what it's going to take. Yesterday is a room. That was a room, a bipartisan room, whether you like it or not. and he signed the Interdict Act, which people don't truly know what is going on if you're outside of how bad the opiate crisis is. Only the media, when the media feels it's to their benefit, do they highlight things that they feel is to their benefit, and they get the viewers. I'm trying to get having the computer freezing issues this morning. Sorry about that. There are some stories that I had pulled up that I do want to go over on this, well, computer froze up, so irritating. I'm gonna have to break down and get a studio computer just for here. I know that in advance. I'm gonna have to do that. So my stories, and my apology, because I really do want to bring up a couple things concerning this, instead of talking about dossiers and Russia. I'd like to get to this. My sincere apologies. Sam, let's take a brief break and see if I can get my computer to reboot. I'm sorry, folks. Let me see if I can get this to reboot, come back, and get all of my stories ready. Let's take a brief break. We'll be right back, folks. Sorry about the inconvenience. Folks, we apologize. We hope you're still with us, and we apologize because I wanted to get to a couple of these stories before we left today's show. I'm your host, BKP. To combat drug smuggling, Trump signs bill to provide $9 million to opiate censors. Now, do you not think we need a wall? Do you not think we need technology? Do you not think? Now, I keep hearing about a wall. Okay, you and I both know. The topography that's what it's called, the lay of the land. Okay, we know there's some areas on our southern border that we cannot build this massive wall. We know that. Okay, but we watch movies, and I'm going to make a joke out of it. And we watch movies where they have a checkered board of lasers, and somebody tries to manipulate that checkered board of lasers to get to the diamond. I mean, seriously, there's technology out there that we can run across that border, that sensors would go off if somebody tried to cross. I mean, so we have to secure the southern border. You have to tell your congressman, your senator. To combat drug smuggling, Trump signed bill to provide $9 million for opiate censors. Customs agents will have $9 million of additional equipment to detect fentanyl and other opiates from entering the country under a bill President Trump signed Wednesday. Nobody will talk about it. The Interdict Act, and I told you about the acronym earlier, allows the U.S. Customs and Border Protection to buy chemical screening devices that can detect the deadly drugs as they enter. China is the largest source of fentanyl smuggling, but the drug is often shipped first to Mexico or Canada, where it crosses the border into the United States. It's often shipped by mail or other carriers, and even ordered online, but it can be difficult to detect in small amounts. Okay? They are using the postal system, and they're killing our people, Trump said in the Oval Office, signing the ceremony, a bipartisan group of lawmakers. Now, at 50 times more powerful than heroin, people addicted to opiates often turn to fentanyl because it's a low cost and wide availability. This had bipartisan support, folks, bipartisan support. Now I'm going to go to another one. Okay, this is a story that was done some time ago. All right, this is back in August, but fentanyl crisis, deadly drug easily available for online purchase. The drug fueling America's unprecedented overdose crisis is available to mail order directly from China by logging online. Fentanyl, a synthetic opiate that's 50 times more powerful than heroin, can be found using simple internet searches. Okay? This comes from a sheriff in Ohio. Don't get confused and think for 1 minute they care about you, your kids. Don't get confused. Now, let's think about this. Chuck Schumer will come to the podium and he will cry tears over 700,000 dreamers. You will hear on a daily basis the biggest crisis in America is DACA. Okay? These poor kids. They can order from China and they'll mail it to your house, said Montgomery County Sheriff Phil Pulmoner, whose jurisdiction is the overdose capital according to local officials. Chinese companies sell the drug as research chemical and consistently change its composition to avoid authorities. Nearly 35,000 Americans die of heroin or opiate overdose died in 2015. Over 35,000. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, the death rate for synthetic opiates, which includes fentanyl, rose more than 72% from 2014 to 2015. Who in the hell was president of the United States? I'm serious. I get so frustrated that we have to spend our week hearing about DACA. And we actually have our congressmen and our senators on our side of the aisle saying, really? We are going to shut down the government. We are going to create this drama of this crisis. We're going to create this nonstop 24/7 on the media. Excuse me, we're going to run to all the video cameras outside in the Capitol and discuss shutting the country down and not getting a spending bill over DACA. No media whatsoever on this yesterday. And also, the President of the United States, you heard him say, he knows what to do. American people are not ready. You're not ready for it, okay? Not ready. 72% from 2014 to 2015. Maybe why Hillary Clinton was not paying the DNC, which she ran the DNC and her campaign, were not paying Michael Steele to create a fake, unsubstantiated dossier to be used for a FISA court warrant. Maybe if Obama was not directing, Obama was not directing James Comey to continue and Loretta Lynch their lies and deceit behind all this, they would have paid attention to your children and what's going on in rural America. It's stories like this that they just do not catch on why Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. According to the center, Donald Trump has said battling the opiate addiction is a major piece of his administration. Okay. We also, let me get another article. There's one more I want to bring up. And the southern border, we're hearing that all week. This is the story that came out August 10th, 2017. Mexican drug cartels taking over fentanyl market, fueling a rise in overdose deaths. Okay? Mexican drug cartels seeking to increase profit margin have started to produce fentanyl, an extremely dangerous opioid that has been linked to a spike in overdose deaths across the country. Fentanyl, which is 30 to 50 times stronger. Okay? The cartel set up labs down there just like their traditional methamphetamine laboratories, and they're manufacturing fentanyl and sending it up to the United States. They send it up in a pill form. They send it up in powder form. It could look like cocaine. It could look like heroin. Drug Enforcement Administration Special Agent Amy Roderick says. With Mexico now taking over the market, the amount of fentanyl pouring into the United States is reaching levels not seen in years. We have seen a double it doubling over 2016, said San Diego's Deputy U.S. Attorney Mark Conover. And what do we have to do? What do we have to listen to all week long? Is DACA. We have to listen to DACA. We have to listen to the spending bill. We have to listen to the dossier. All right. I'm just telling you. I wish that the media would look at a couple other things. I want to look at some stuff before we leave. We've had a really difficult show. I apologize. We got a late start about 8:12 due to some technical difficulties, and then we've had some computer issues. Sam, pull up President Donald Trump vows to take a strong look at libel laws. That video. Sorry, folks. Go ahead and play that.
We are going to take a strong look at our country's libel laws so that when somebody says something that is false and defamatory about someone, that person will have meaningful recourse in our courts. If somebody says something that's totally false and knowingly false, that the person that has been abused, defamed, libeled, will have meaningful recourse. Our current libel laws are a sham and a disgrace and do not represent American values or American fairness. So we're going to take a strong look at that. We want fairness. You can't say things that are false, knowingly false, and be able to smile as money pours into your bank account. We're going to take a very, very strong look at that. And I think what the American people want to see is fairness.
Okay, what do you think about the libel laws? What do you think about it? Do you think the media now here's the thing is a lot of people will talk about the First Amendment and the media and that Trump is wanting to do something where the media is concerned. We have a book that just came out, which is it's okay, all right. You can write these trash novels. We have a book that just came out. It's caused a little bit of chaos where the author admits that there's some things in the book that may not be exactly true. All right. We have some people that say they were off the record when they made comments. Okay. I had a meeting with somebody yesterday, discussed the off the record laws yesterday with a certain individual. What do you think about the libel laws? Now, should I be able to come on here today and just say anything I want with no liability whatsoever? Now, let me tell you where I think the difference is. Here's where I think the difference is, okay, is that when I come on and I do a show, I will tell you this is my opinion, all right? When we post it on the internet, we tell you this is BKP's opinion this is BKP's opinion on local, state, and national news, all right? A lot of times in my reporting on the show, I will say, now, my opinion, or this is the way I see it, or whatever the case. But if you are sitting there and you're CNN and you actually are doing a show and you do not put up, hey, this is an opinion show or whatever it may be, should there be a liability? Should there be libel laws? Should the media just be able to say anything at any time? I don't know. That's my question I'd like to know from you. Press conference. Let's go to the press conference. Donald Trump holds a press conference 4 minutes and 54 seconds in. Let's look at that. Just a couple of clips I wanted to play today that the media will not. Okay, go ahead with that one, Sam.
Proud of that. We're also making America safe again. Yesterday, we had a bipartisan meeting with House members and senators on immigration reform, something they've been talking about for many, many years, but we brought them together in this room, and it was a tremendous meeting. Actually, it was reported as incredibly good, and my performance you know, some of them called it a performance. I consider it work. But got great reviews by everybody other than 2 networks who were phenomenal for about 2 hours. Then after that, they were called by their bosses and say, "Oh, wait a minute." And unfortunately, a lot of those anchors sent us letters saying that was one of the greatest meetings they've ever witnessed. And they were great. For about 2 hours, they were phenomenal. And then they went a little bit south on us, but not that bad. It was fine. They probably wish they didn't send us those letters of congratulations, but it was good. I'm sure their ratings were fantastic. They always are. Which is why I think the media will ultimately support Trump in the end, because they're going to say if Trump doesn't win in 3 years, they're all out of business. You guys will be out of business, but the boom holders are still the
You guys will be out of business in 3 years if Trump doesn't win. They cannot lose the show. They love the show. The media loves the show. Now, I don't know what will happen in 4 years, but I will say this: in 3 years, when the president's running for office again, they do not want to miss the show. I'm telling you, they want the fifth season. If every year is going to be a season, okay, they want the 5th season. It may be time to leave after 8, but they don't want to lose the show. Now, President Trump said that yesterday in a cabinet meeting. That was a cabinet meeting because he got a lot of criticism in the last several days. Is he fit to hold office? The 25th Amendment, right? Section 4. Does he have the mental capacity? Does he have the faculties? Is he coherent? Can he do it? And he had 2 days of 55 minutes. Like, do you think I'm crazy? Here's what everybody thought. So let's go with, give me that picture of Trump's report card. All right, MSNBC loves to come up with the report card. So this morning they played MSNBC, Trump's report card. And Trump's first year, his grade card from the Quinnipiac poll, okay, an A, 40% of the GOP gave him an A, 13% of independents, and only 2% of Democrats. A B, 38% of the GOP gave him a B, okay. 38% gave him a B, 16% independents gave him a B, and 2% of Democrats. So if in the B category, which means I'm not really crazy about the guy. I think he's doing okay, but the economy is going well. I'll vote for him again. That's just about enough to win again right there. So the C category, only 13% of the GOP give him a C. Independents 14% and 6% Democrats. Now he gets the D, only 5% and 4% give him an F in the GOP, okay? And he gets a D and an F, 22%, 33%, there are the independents. But he gets an F from 71% of the Democrats, okay? That's 71% of the Democrats that did not know yesterday, obviously, that he signed the Interdict Act with this massive fentanyl problem and opiate problem crisis in this country, that the Democrats, those 71%, are more interested in 700,000 poor kids that are illegals that came in here, and then instead of your kids and your grandkids, because you know some of you out there are struggling with this. I don't want to go into the approval ratings. Let's go into Trump's first tweet of the day. Okay, it's Trump number 1. The fact that the sneaky Dianne Feinstein, who has on numerous occasions stated that collusion between Trump and Russia has not been found, would release testimony in such an underhanded and possibly illegal way, totally without authorization, is a disgrace. Must have a tough primary. Now, real quick, put up Allison's picture. Okay. This lady here, I forget Allison's last name. Still having a problem with my internet, so I'm trying not to bounce around too much. Let me see if I can get that article before. This lady right here, the president called it out. New liberal challenger to Senator Dianne Feinstein launches bid on the Young Turks. Okay. Allison Hartson, 37, Dianne Feinstein, 84. A new Democrat candidate used a popular liberal news show Thursday to launch a bid to oust Dianne Feinstein, saying it's time for California's longtime senator to go. Dianne Feinstein isn't doing it at all, said the 37-year-old Allison Hartson, the leader of the group aimed at getting money out of politics in an interview in the Los Angeles Times. So the president calls her out for that. Says she has a tough primary. Now, Dianne Feinstein released the Fusion GPS testimony of Michael Steele. All right, let's go to Trump tweet number 2. Trump tweet number 2, the single greatest witch hunt, when you find that, put it up. The single greatest witch hunt in American history continues. There was no collusion. Everybody, including the Dems, know there was no collusion. And yet, on and on it goes. Russia and the world is laughing at the stupidity they are witnessing. Republicans should finally take control. Republicans need to end this. I agree with the president on that. Let's go to Trump 3. Good news. How many of you are hearing this? Good news. Toyota and Mazda announced giant new Huntsville, Alabama plant, which will produce over 300,000 cars and SUVs a year and employ 4,000 people. Companies are coming back to the U.S. in a very big way. Congratulations, Alabama. Okay, go to tweet number 4. Disproven and paid for by the Democrats. Now, this was paid for. There's no, absolutely, it was not verified. The dossier was not verified information, okay? Disproven and paid for by Democrat. Dossier used to spy on Trump campaign. Did FBI use intel tool to influence the election? At Fox and Friends, did Dems or Clinton also pay Russians? Where are hidden and smashed DNC servers? Where are the hidden and smashed DNC servers? Where are crooked Hillary's emails? What a mess. Exactly. Let's go to number 5. This is the one part of the poll they leave out. Trump, number 5. And in a new Quinnipiac poll, 66%. Can you find number 5 for me, Sam? Did I send it? Maybe I didn't send it. I'm sorry if I didn't. In a new Quinnipiac poll, 66% of people feel the economy is excellent or good. That is the highest number ever recorded by this poll. They leave that out. And let's go to Trump tweet number 7. Okay. Trump tweet number 7 of the day. House votes on controversial FISA Act today. Okay, this is an act that may have been used with the help of the discredited and phony dossier to so badly surveil and abuse the Trump campaign by a previous administration and others. Folks, you need to pay attention to this. This is where Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Loretta Lynch, and all of the deep state and the dark side of this country went together, created this dossier, paid for it. The DNC, Hillary Clinton paid for it. Michael Steele through Fusion GPS paid for it, unverified, got a FISA court warrant, okay? Got a FISA court warrant, and surveillance on private citizens. Do you realize the citizens working on this campaign were private citizens? You better pay attention to this. You do not need to just pass by and say, oh, that's just Trump being Trump. No. You better pay attention to how serious this is. I'm going to take a brief break. We got 15 minutes. I do have 2 or 3 other things I want to cover today before we leave, so don't go away. Take us to break, Sam.